A very good morning to you and welcome back. You're now on the Entrepreneur's Spotlight. Over the years, clothing, which started as a fundamental human need, evolved to become a form of self-expression. Now, did you know that the fashion industry has a global net worth of over $1.7 billion and is responsible for 2% of the world's GDP? Now, on the spotlight today, we have businesswoman and fashion entrepreneur Sunday Oyiza Murifa, director of Sazi Groups. Good morning. Welcome to the spotlight. All right. You're the director of Sazi Groups. Yeah. So can you tell us basically, how do you define Sazi Luxury as a brand? What is the core philosophy of your brand and designs, and what makes Sazi stand out?
Okay, thank you. Sazi Luxury is a brand, a fashion brand under Sazi Groups. At Sazi Luxury, it was built on love. The idea of watching people, how they look when they wear their outfits, the shape, the figure, and all of that. It gave me the inspiration to start something in 2000. That's April 2000. I started the brand, fashion brand, and all of that from the comfort of my home, with one industrial machine, trying to build something for myself. I get my inspiration sometimes from other fashion designers, and I try to design my own unique outfit. And my core value is the simplicity. I just want it to be simple and presentable, where you can still look classy, and that's just the inspiration I get, and everything has been a story after then.
Interesting. Since 2002?
No, 2000.
2000. So it's basically, what, 25 years old now?
5 years.
That's 2020.
2020, sorry.
Yes.
2020.
That's 5 years now.
Yes,
in just 5 years, you've been able to do a lot, because I went through your website, your Instagram page, and I saw your designs, and it also struck me, like you said, your focus on simplicity.
Yeah.
It's simple yet very unique very stylish, and kind of personal as well. Yeah. I really, really love your designs. But can you briefly walk us through your design process? You say you get some of your inspiration from other designers and the things around you. So what inspires your designs, basically, and how do you go through with it from the initial concept, from when it's just an idea, to the final product?
Sometimes, for instance, if we are dealing with clients, when I see you, I should be able to tell you what will fit you. Even when you tell me otherwise, I should be able to tell you that, no, this is not what will go for you. This is what will go for you. And from there, we'll move to the choice of materials. From the choice of materials, I can now decide on what designs we can create from that material, the accessories that will go well with that material. Then I can speak to my designers. Can we bring this to a reality, the illustration? Sometimes we don't even have to design anything. I just tell them that, okay, this is what I want you to do, this is how I want it to come out. And it just come out pretty well.
Interesting. You make it sound very easy. Well, I mean, look at some of your designs on the screen. It takes a whole village to actually put these things together. There's designing aspect, there's the cutting, there's the finishing, and all of that. Really interesting. So now the goal and the aim of every business is to make profit at the end of the day. Exactly. Be it a hobby, you're doing what you like, you're employed, whatever it is, at the end of the day is to make money. So how do you handle the business side of your brand, like the marketing, the sales, and the scaling of your collections, even the pricing? How do you handle all of that?
Oh, like I said earlier, Sazi Luxury is a brand under Sazi Groups. So there are a lot for me to handle. In the initial stage, that's the early years of the branding and all of that, I handle the designing, because I sew myself. I handle the designing, attending to customers and all of that. But now I will give it to my team. I have a very, very strong team, because the brand has grown so big that I don't have to be in charge of most of these things anymore.
Oh, shit.
I don't have to be in charge of these things anymore. So my manager takes charge of the pricing, the cost of production. Even now that the economy is affecting the cost of production, and we still need to stand out and maintain the standard that we've always been maintaining and all of that, and still try to manage our pricing, how to discuss this with our clients to understand that this is really not our fault, that we are in Nigeria and we just have to manage the situations.
Okay, I was about to come to that, but you kind of jumped the gun. I wanted to ask, like, the rate of inflation and everything happening, because we have all experienced it. Like they say, the breeze touch everybody. So there's inflation and increment everywhere, from food to clothing to rent to education. Everything has increased. So I was about to ask, how do you manage your pricing? Because you've added luxury to the name of your brand. I know in Nigeria, when we hear luxury, we all know that it's going to be up there. So how do you manage your pricing and your prices with your customers with the rate of inflation? And how do you also get your customers to understand that the reasons for this increment?
Okay, first, our products are very affordable. They are not cheap, they are not expensive, but they're very affordable. And in terms of increasing the product, we have no choice than to increase it, because we have to pay staff, we have to buy what is selling in the market, whether we are importing or we are buying here in Nigeria. But regardless, our customer relationship team try everything possible to communicate rightly to our customers, making them understand why they still need to patronize us regardless of the pricing. And the difference is not that much. We just try to cut corners and see how we can still manage it, and the difference is not much.
But there's an increment regardless.
Of course, there's an increment.
Okay, but kind of off the topic, we just recently had the MVCAs last week, and there's a lot going on the red carpet. Fashion, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm sure as a fashion designer, you were actually glued to your screen watching at least the social media highlights. At least you saw that,
I was just
right?
watching the highlights, because on the event I was on transit, so I could not.
So, but what would you do? You have any particular style or outfit that actually stood out for you, coming from a designer in the MVCAs?
I think it was a Saga's outfit.
Interesting.
That caught my attention, because when I saw
the blue one.
It was not blue. Saga Deolu, the SB Binanja.
Yes. You know, there were two events, the traditional event.
I think the traditional.
The traditional,
yeah.
Okay.
That was what got my attention, and that's the only thing I like.
Interesting.
After the show, I began to think, like I said, I get inspiration from some other designers. I begin to think that, okay, this could be one of my male model wearing these. It mustn't be exactly like what Saga was wearing, but I tried to create another design from what he was wearing.
Using it as a template. Interesting. So you've heard it, guys, from a fashion designer from Sazi Luxury. She says Saga did it for her in the AMVCAs. All right. Now, before I let you go, final question. There's a lot of upcoming designers, brands out there, people that aspire, people that want to start, people that are still learning, and people who have just started but are still in their early phases. And they aspire to be like you, Sazi Luxury, you know, the Vicky James, the, what's the lady's name?
Prudence.
The one that had the 1 million pins on her dress.
Okay, Tiana.
Tiana, thank you very much. So they aspire to be like all these people. So what advice would you give young designers who are just starting their careers? Like you said, you started in 2020 with just one machine in your home. So what would you advise other designers who are currently at that level?
Okay, I'm going to advise based on experience, my own personal experience. First, you don't compare your growth with those that have been in the business for over decades. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They've had their ups and downs too. And you don't copy always. Sometimes create your own designs. And when it comes to risk taking, always make sure you take calculated risk. You don't just jump into whatever you see. Okay, you see there is an opportunity here, let me just take it and all of that, because you might not end up winning. But when you take calculated risk, the chances of winning is like 70-30.
Interesting. So that's it. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth, people. The director of Sazi Groups, Sunday Oyiza Murifa. Thank you so much for coming to the weekend show. We hope to see more of you on subsequent episodes. Also, more of your designs. Feel free to style us, the presenters here on the weekend show. Feel very free, please.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Unfortunately, this is where we draw the curtains on the Entrepreneur Spotlight. I'm Tende Chimelu, but